The last couple of years have not been very kind to many employees, or in some cases, their employer. And with that came a lot of frustration. So is 2011 the year workers can find some happiness again? Listen to this. According to the job placement firm Manpower, a shocking 84% of 1,400 U.S. workers that were surveyed say they plan to look for a new job next year. For the same study 1 year ago, it was just 60%. So why is this number so high, and what do you need to know about the job market? Debbie Magnuson from Career Partners International is here now to talk about this. So Debbie, that number is huge. I mean, what does it say about our current workforce and, of course, the outlook on jobs for 2011?
Right. Yeah, it is a shocking number, isn't it, Heidi? What it says is that the American workers had a really tough time over the last few years. So many people have had a lot of uncertainty in their jobs, and the number was 60% last year, which was actually a lot lower than it had been before because people were so afraid for their jobs. A year ago, everything was bad news. Everything was about people losing their jobs and becoming unemployed. Nobody could take the risk of looking for another job. This year we've seen, especially toward the end of the year, we've seen a lot of signs of hopefulness, and that has caused people to get much more assertive about the fact that they're ready to find a job that suits them better, that's a better fit for their talents and skills.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think people can only be underappreciated and can only be afraid for their jobs for so long. This dissatisfaction has been building year after year. It seems like it's about to take off now.
Yeah, and that's right. People have, dealt with budget cuts, they've dealt with pay cuts, they've dealt with benefit cuts, they've dealt with the fact that productivity went up because you had one person who used to do the job of 3 or 4. And so the American workers really been taking it on the chin, has been working very, very hard, and hasn't had a lot of, hasn't felt very valued by their employers.
So then how is it that I think that you believe that the employer is still in the driver's seat? How is that so? I mean, it feels a little bit like the table has turned, hasn't it?
Well, the table hasn't turned yet. The reality is that there's still a lot of applicants for every job. It is still a buyer's market when it comes to the employment field. And so there's still a lot of people lining up. Employers report getting hundreds of resumes, highly qualified, good resumes for jobs. So it is still, the employers are still in the driver's seat. And that's not going to change anytime soon.
Aren't they worried about retention, though?
Well, sure, the retention of their best people. I mean, really highly qualified, high potential candidates always have options, and they have continued to move. And as the employment picture has brightened toward the end of 2010, we have seen people changing, leaving, moving jobs for greener pastures.
Yeah, sure. So what about if you are one of those people who's getting ready to change jobs and try to find something new? If everybody else is doing that, we have another problem.
We do indeed. It just heats up and makes the employment market even tougher and more challenging for applicants. The best thing you can do is get yourself some help, I think, with getting a really great resume. Make sure you're packaged correctly for the job you want. Make sure you practice interviewing. Make sure you get feedback from others about the way you're presenting yourself, about the way what we call your value proposition. People applying for jobs today need to be really clear about what they offer and what differentiates them from the competition.
Absolutely. All right, Debbie Magnuson from Career Partners International. Sure do appreciate your time. Thanks.
You bet. Thank you.